this is Nikki Nellis with Foodie the Beast. I am beastless today. I have David Hagedorn as my co-host. And later in the show, we're going to eat healthy with the Guiltless Gourmet. And we're drinking wines with the Jefferson Hotel.
And we're going to learn all about cooking and entertaining from the folks at La Académie de Cuisine in Bethesda, and all about rabbit food from Rabbit Salad and Grill in Clarendon.
Yum, they brought in lots of yummy treats, so stay tuned.
Planet Wine. It's like having your own wine cellar right in the heart of Del Rey. More than 700 bottles of domestic and imported wines offer something for every occasion and budget. For fine wines and more, there's a whole planet. Planet Wine in Del Rey.
But now, the best part of the show.
Yes, more importantly, Michael SCAFFIDI is here, the wine director and sommelier from the Jefferson Hotel, and he is going to keep us flowing in the wine today.
Exactly. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. So let's start with you. Let's just get a little background. How long have you been at the Jefferson, and how long have you been pouring wine?
So I've been pouring wine for, almost 10 years now. And I've been at the Jefferson for about 3 years. Mm-hmm. And prior to the Jefferson, I was the director of beverage at the Greenbrier. Prior to that, I was at the French Laundry for right around 3 years.
Not a shabby place.
And I'm born and raised in California, so I spent my whole life in California. And I'm happy to be in D.C.
Excellent. So let's talk about a little bit about your position at the Jefferson, because you're not just at the restaurant, you're also in the hotel.
Absolutely. So I'm in charge of anything to do with wine, kind of whatever I can do to make people happy by pouring them a little bit of alcoholic grape juice. Mm-hmm. So we have, I believe we have the most wine in D.C. I'm not certain, but we have a little under 1,300 labels. Mm-hmm. We have 34 Madeiras by the glass. Our oldest by the glass goes back to the year 1780.
Has anybody ordered it?
Absolutely. Last night, someone had 3 glasses of it. So we have about a bottle and a half left.
Wow. I see you brought some today. I'm joking.
And what a perfect dreary day to start drinking wine at 11 o'clock.
I totally agree.
Absolutely. If it's 9 o'clock, it's a great time to start drinking wine.
Right. Anytime's a good time.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about what you brought in today.
So today I have a few different wines. I thought we're going into the tail end of summer, so I thought some wines that would be crisp and light and refreshing, and starting with fall. So some fall flavors we'd incorporate as well. So we have a wonderful Riesling. A lot of people think all Riesling is sweet.
I'm one of them. I hate Riesling.
Well, keep drinking. This Riesling is bone dry, delicious. The producer is Christmann, easily one of the greatest producers in Germany. And it's from the Pfalz, which is just adjacent to France, known for a crisp, dry style. Close your eyes and you wouldn't think it's Riesling.
Okay, but everybody, we've had lots of people come on, and, you know, Hagedorn and I can both talk about this. We go to lots of press dinners, and people, I feel like sommeliers or wine directors always want to impress you with a Riesling. Why do people want you to try that wine? What would you say?
Well, I mean, I think first thing comes to mind, I think drinking Riesling makes you a better person.
Oh, I must be a terrible person. I am a terrible person.
Because it's lower in alcohol, goes great with a variety of food. You can have it with, if you love Indian food, if you love Chinese food, if you love Mexican food. It works with spices, it works with meats, it works with fish. And then you can have it dry, you can have it sweet.
So you're assuring us that Riesling is not, as I thought, German for regift.
Correct, absolutely. And there are some awful Rieslings out there, but just like there's some wonderful Pinot Noirs, there's some also pretty horrible Pinot Noirs. So.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, why don't you pour that for us and our guests, and we are going to get into Aaron and Katsuya from Rabbit. So, okay, guys, thank you for coming in this morning, and thank you for bringing these beautiful salads. But I got to tell you, when you think of Rabbit, you think of lettuce and carrots. I mean, I get the name. But tell us about the concept, Aaron, and what inspired it.
Well, we wanted to come up with a completely new concept. A concept where you get a fantastic salad. Well, let me start by saying we call it a salad and grill.
Okay.
So while we do a predominant amount of salads, we do really focus a lot of our attention on the grill aspect. So we have the things like the steak and potatoes salad, the seared tuna niçoise salad, but we also add nice sandwiches to that and wonderful dinner plates. So a lot of the focus is right around the salad and grill aspect.
Well, what made you decide to add the grill aspect? I mean, clearly, listen, you're not new to the restaurant biz. You have the red velvet cupcakeries and the tangy sweet
Tangy sweet frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt,
Yeah.
right? So, but this is a different jump from, instead of just desserts and sweets, going to more mainstream eating. What was it that you felt was not out there that you wanted to provide?
Well, honestly, we had seen a lot of salad shops do very well, and they're great concepts, absolutely great concepts. But they're very quick.
You don't want to do any slamming here? You don't want to?
No, I'm not going to slam anyone. I'm not going to slam anyone.
You're
But
no
I will
fun.
say, okay, well, I'll do a little bit of slamming.
Okay, let's go.
We're gonna say,
Some of the shops in town, I won't necessarily say who, are what I consider sort of a glorified salad bar.
Okay.
So what they do is just throw together a little bit of lettuce, throw together this and that. But mainly the protein, the meat that comes on them is very, not very inspiring.
It's secondary. It's not it's not what they're focused on.
It's secondary. A lot of it comes from a vendor, comes off of a Cisco truck or something like that.
so these are more savory greens than sweet greens.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we were able to slam a few people.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just asking a question
It
here.
was a good question.
No, he's absolutely right. And great concepts such as sweet green and chopped, and even another one called tossed, do put together wonderful
Which
salads.
I have to say, I just can't get behind that name. But ananyway, go on.
No,
Tossed, really?
the toss
Okay,
is not the
whatever.
best one at all. So what we really wanted to do
Tell
is
us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel.
Great product. The name. Okay.
Anyway, I do love their products, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to make something a little bit more elevated, and really focusing on two things. First of all, the proteins. So putting on some really made-to-order or grilled-to-order proteins, from our steak to our tuna to the chicken to even our tofu, crusted tofu, etc.
Okay, we have to take a quick break. Just answer this one quick question. How many seats?
There are 60 seats inside, and there are
Okay.
going to be another 15 seats outside. We just opened last week, so we're waiting on that permit.
Excellent. Okay. All right. This is Nikki Nellis and David Hagedorn with Foodie the Beast. I almost messed that up, but we had to take a quick break. But when we come back, I'm going to announce that I actually like Riesling for the first time.
I know. It's a great breakfast one.
We'll be back in just a sec.
The phrase neighborhood restaurant means convenience, but not necessarily style or good taste. But in DC's West End, Circle Bistro, Noti Bianche, and Dish Plus Drinks take neighborhood dining to new levels. Circle Bistro offers contemporary French-inspired cuisine. Dish has new twists on American classics. And Noti Bianche is the perfect Italian trattoria. The Kennedy Center is just steps away, so pre- and post-theater dining is enjoyable and convenient. Dish, Noti Bianche, and Circle Bistro. There's good taste in the neighborhood.
Welcome back to Foodie and the Beast. This is Nikki Nellis. I have guest host with me today, David Hagedorn, and we are looking at a plate of beautiful red velvet cupcakes. We're drinking a little Riesling, and we have the guys from Rabbit in studio with us. Guys, tell us about the salads that you made today so people can understand when we say composed salad what you're talking about.
Well, composed salad for me is something that it's delicately, it's not just thrown in a bowl, tossed with dressing, and piled on a plate. It's there's some kind of execution involved and plating involved where it actually looks good,
Right.
and tastes good.
Well, tell us about these two salads. Like, what are their names? And give us a quick overview of what's in them.
That one's Bob.
Initially, I was talking to Aaron. We wanted to do some salads that were recognizable in name, and so we didn't want to freak people out with some crazy new salads. But so that one over there is a niçoise salad, classic niçoise.
I know, but it's really beautiful. I mean, that's one of the
Thanks.
prettiest niçoises I've seen in a long time.
I mean, and highlighting the fresh tuna that we grill, and it's not like grilled in the morning; it's grilled at the moment, and
so it's fresh.
Yes, very fresh, and you can see it's medium rare and delicious. And then the next one over is the rabbit salad. Aaron wanted something that's kind of like signature to the place, and so this is our first, attempt at, it's not an attempt, but it's the volume 1 of Rabbit.
Because it's seasonal or what?
It's going to change. I would like to see it transform into a different salad, here and there. But this one, like I said before, we wanted to highlight vegetables, and it's full of vegetables. It's, peas and carrots go great together. So there's peas, snow peas, and carrots are in different forms. There's roasted baby carrots, little ribbons of carrots. There's diced carrots.
And what's the dressing?
And the dressing is it's a citrus dressing, but there's green on the bottom, we got these beautiful carrots, baby carrots with the tops. And most people throw away the tops.
Right. What'd you do with it?
We made a pesto out of the top. And
Really?
Yeah, so we blanched the pesto.
Okay, pass that over. I want to taste it. I've never seen that before.
So you can just stick your finger
That's what I'm going to do.
in the green part. And, you know, it has pine nuts and has the carrot tops and cheese.
So that must be packed with vitamins, right? Carrot tops?
Yeah. I mean,
Yes, maybe?
It's bitter.
Doc?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, those rabbits good, right?
Okay, so we do have to wrap up. So quickly, please tell everybody where they can find Rabbit.
Rabbit's very easy to find. We're right on Clarendon Boulevard. We're about a half a block from the Clarendon Metro in downtown Clarendon. And you can come in for our signature salads, sandwiches, or cupcakes.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming in today and bringing these beautiful salads.
Thank you very much.
We are bringing in our next guest, and I'm going to let David Hagedorn introduce him.
Dr. Mike FENSTER, the Grassroots Gourmet. How are you?
I am doing great now that I have a breakfast wine myself.
See, even the doctor likes a glass of wine to
I
start off
see.
his
It is
day.
always 5 o'clock somewhere.
In the notes, Nikki says I'm the chef that's had a heart attack, which is like, well, I love that. That's gonna be, I think I'll put that on my business card. So I do know a little bit of where you're coming from, but I also see you're a martial arts expert and a real chef and a real doctor. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I think for like most people who get involved in food, I got involved very young. A lot of influence from my mom. I used to play hooky, so back in the day, I'm giving away my age now. We would watch. I could stay home and watch The Galloping Gourmet and Julia Child on TV, and then miraculously, I'd be feeling a whole lot better in the afternoon, and we'd go in the kitchen and cook. You know what they were doing there.
Where are you from originally?
I was actually born in South Bronx, New York City, but I've spent a lot of time in the
Accent is
South.
completely gone.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in the South, y'all. So, so I've learned how to make a mean barbecue.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, but which did you do first, cardiologist or chef?
Actually, I cooked professionally first. I started as a dishwasher, making some money, trying to get through college, etc. And you know, back then you didn't need a fancy culinary degree to get in the back of a decent restaurant. So I started as a dishwasher, did a line cook, kind of worked my way up to running the back of the house. Then from there I went on and went to medical school, but continued to be, cook and be involved, and eventually went back and got a degree in gourmet cooking.
You know, our paths are exactly the same. Well, except for the
cardiology part.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you, how do you combine your love of cooking with your doctor profession? I mean, how do you combine the two together so that, because you're not always eating healthy.
Well, I think that's part of what I'd like to dispel is the fact that we say, well, we eat healthy, and immediately we think, gosh, all I can have is, tree bark, raw vegetables, small pebbles,
carrots and peas, perhaps carrots and peas.
And there's a great example of delicious carrots and peas.
I know, it's gorgeous.
But things you can eat healthy, and it can be absolutely delicious, and you can eat things like red meat in moderation. Foie gras, believe it or not. Foie gras is an incredibly healthy food.
It's full of B vitamins, right?
Well, it's actually 75% oleic acid, which is olive oil.
Oh.
And when the French did a study, I think you're probably familiar with the French paradox, which was done, I think, probably about 10, 15 years ago. And it showed that these people in France were doing all the things that in the United States we were saying don't do.
Right, butter,
and
bread.
They were, butter, bread, wine. Cheese. They smoked, they didn't exercise. Yet they were having half the cardiovascular event rates as men in the United States. Right. Well, the healthiest place in France was the place where they ate it's Toulouse region, Gascony region, and they eat insane amounts of foie gras. And the author of the study, Dr. Renee, said, well, if you look at it, it's 75% oleic acid. So it's just olive oil. As more common with olive oil than saturated fat. So there's, a way to eat something delicious like foie gras, which I love, and it's a healthy food. I think one of the keys for me and some of the research and things I've looked at is really, staying away from a lot of the processed foods.
Right.
Right.
I think.
But I think we're hearing that more and more. I mean, for David and my world, David writes for the Washington Post about food and eating in general, and I just think with all the farmers markets and just they call it elitist foodism, but I do feel like it is trickling down. More and more people are just saying, cut out those processed foods.
I think, to me, it brings to mind the law of unintended consequences. You start taking things out of food, you start putting things in, and even in minuscule amounts, we still are very unaware of what the cumulative effects are. I mean, there are compounds in food we don't even know. And then you take every person's body, we're all individuals, and we have individual physiology, although we follow general rules. And then you try to predict how this compound or that compound in the food is going to interact with your body, but the compounds themselves interact. So it's a bit like chaos theory, trying to predict the effects. So even though they say, well, this preservative is safe, well, yeah, but is it safe when it's in 75% of the food you eat? And then there's a cumulative dose. I mean, you know, the Grand Canyon didn't happen overnight.
Right.
It wasn't one flood, but over years. So over the span of our life, what is the effect of all these sort of things on us?
Well, listen, we really appreciate you coming in today. Thank you so much.
I have enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
How can people find you, and where can they find what you're doing?
They can find our website. I have a little blog that I put stuff up on. It's www.whatscookingwithdoc, one word. So they can find us there. And we've got a book coming out in January 2012 called Eating Well, Living Better.
Excellent. Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
We are going to bring in our next guest, Clarice Dionot from l'Académie de Cuisine. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And before we get into all my questions, I need to know, that's not just cut up watermelon. Will you please tell us what that is?
No, it's not just cut up watermelon. It is called Tipsy Watermelon Salad.
Okay.
I got it out of Virginia Willis's book. I did a little play on it, though. It is melon. It's the watermelon. I melon balled it out. I hollowed out the actual watermelon, so it's the bowl that you presented in. The watermelon has been soaking in Pinnacle whipped vodka, lemon juice, creme de cassis, and that's it.
Well, it tastes really good. You should grab one of those.
I'm about to stick my face in that. Are you kidding?
It's delicious.
Oh my God.
Absolutely delicious. Okay, well, so for those, even though we've had different people from l'Académie de Cuisine on over the last 3 years, for those who haven't heard, give us a little 411 on l'Académie.
Well, l'Académie is it's the nation's, it's the DC's premier culinary school. We've been around for 35 years. We are in our 35th year. My father, Francois Dionot, started it 35 years ago. In the location, it is in Bethesda. Bethesda just underwent a year-long renovation project that I oversaw. It is now open. We added one more hands-on kitchen. So we have two hands-on.
So it's still in the old Bethesda space, and you just renovated the whole space?
We did.
Okay.
Back in '94, the professional programs moved to Gaithersburg, so we do have two locations. The Bethesda is just solely for home cooks.
Okay, so this is for people who just love to cook, want to have a class. So tell us a little bit about the offerings that you have in Bethesda.
We have a ton of offerings. Right now, we're about to put out our fall schedule, which covers September through December.
When does that come out?
It is being, the print version will probably come out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it will gradually be put online this week.
Well, and I also know, wait, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll give more love to l'Académie, because I know so many chefs around this city also just, when they need an extra hand, give you guys a ring. All right, this is Nikki Nellis and David Hagedorn for Foodie and the Beast. When we get back, we're going to talk about your cooking skills. We'll be right back.
Planet Wine in Del Rey is more than just 700 great wines. There's also a stellar selection of craft beers picked by Greg Engert, one of Food & Wine's favorite beer experts, and artisan charcuterie from Red Apron. For fine wines, beers, and more, there's a...
Welcome back to Foodie and the Beast. We're having so much fun in studio. We're digging into those watermelon balls. I don't like saying that on air, but they're delicious.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Of course you do. Well, so back to l'Académie de Cuisine. You said holiday classes are like your biggest one.
Yes.
Why?
A lot. Well, come the holidays, there's a lot of entertaining, and everybody provides food. There's always food, whether you're going somewhere and people are making it for you, or you have to make it and bring it. So there's a lot of food that's involved. So there's classes where we provide ideas, and people get ideas from them, or they just come to learn so they can get better and host their own party.
And who do you find your students are? I mean, is it everybody from people who really enjoy cooking and can cook to people who are like, oh my God, I can't even do rice? I mean, is it everybody?
Yes,
you have
everybody.
A broad spectrum?
We have everyone coming, including we have kids classes and teens classes.
I would bet those are huge classes right now.
Yeah, right now we are about to finish our long summer of cooking camps for kids and teens. So next week is our last week. But yeah, the kids are very involved. The teens love to cook.
Well, everybody's watching Food Network. Everybody wants to get on TV.
And cooking has skipped a generation.
Yes.
You know, of all these prepared foods that
I think you're
our
right.
parents grew up with, and they, you know, a lot of our mothers. My mother was a good cook, but couldn't pass down those skills to their children because they were raised serving frozen food and all of that. And now people want to get back into cooking. And
You're exactly
that's
right.
where you come in.
Yes, tomato.
I'm getting hungry. I'm ready to eat.
There's enough.
It's time. I know, they're beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing everything in.
Thank
Can you
you.
tell everybody where they can find you, your website?
Website is
The whole 411.
www.lacademy.com. We are in Bethesda, Wilson Lane, and the book will be coming out in just a couple weeks, and the check online starting tomorrow.
All right, everybody, keep posted. Thank you both
Can't
so much for coming in. We can't wait. All right, Mike, we're going to get back to you. This wine was, it was like eating a piece of meat. It was just delicious. It was
I
satisfying.
love when a wine smells like meat, and you're right.
You know?
This is like baked cherries, bacon, spices, long finish. And I was mentioning to you on the break that this wine was actually an accident because I had another bottle of wine that broke on the way.
In your car?
As I was picking the wine out of my car last night, I broke it. So this wine actually came right from my cellar.
Oh, well,
So-
boy,
so
we
this-
feel really thankful now. My goodness.
Well, I hope you're enjoying it and having
It
a
would
good
only
time
be.
with it. So
It would be rude of us not to drink all of
no,
it.
we're gonna have to drink the
And
whole
you
thing.
must,
Absolutely.
So it's, but I think it's ripe. Got a wonderful long finish. It's complex, kind of like an independent film. You know, it kind of makes you happy, it makes you sad.
Right.
At the end, you fall in love with all the characters, and you feel good about yourself. So
I love that. That is the best analogy I've ever heard when it comes to a bottle of wine. I think that's terrific.
I think I might have to appropriate that.
Yes, I think you're going to. David's tweeting it as we speak. We really appreciate you coming in today. You brought absolutely delicious wines. Everybody should please go see Mike at the Jefferson Hotel and ask for him because he was pouring delicious ones in studio today. And I have to give a shout out because I did not thank our sponsors earlier. And my engineer, Andy, prompted me. David Nellis will be so happy. So I have to do the sponsor roll call because it's important. We need to thank Georgetown Bakery because they always provide us with magnificent bagels and coffee. And Neighborhood Restaurant Group, their restaurants, Rustico, Evening Star, Tallulah, Vermilion,
Love,
Buzz.
love.
Lots of
love.
love. Birch and Barley and Church Key. Thank you all so much. Founding Farmers, Farmers and Fishers, Noti Bianchi, Dish, Circle Bistro, and Charles Schwartz & Son. We have a jeweler who advertises,
Gorgeous.
which I love. I should be bedecked,
You
but I'm
got
not.
all your jewelry
I
on.
got my jewelry on. And, of course, Bethesda Central Farm Market. They are open for another hour, so when the show is over, you should race down there because we saw lots of people there today picking up their heirloom tomatoes and their bison burgers. Lots of great vendors and lots of good treats.
And tell Mitch Berliner we said hi.
Okay, yes, exactly. Mitch Berliner, great guy, called in last week. There's always good stuff going on there. Okay, very quickly, we only have a couple minutes left, so we want to thank all our guests today. First and foremost, I have to thank my very special co-host, David Hagedorn, who did such a fabulous job.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. You are welcome here anytime. And we want to thank our guests, Michael SCAFFIDI. Did I say it right?
You did.
Oh my God, yay. Dr. Mike FENSTER, Clarice Dionot, Aaron Gordon, and Chef Katsuya, all in studio with us today, promoting fabulous restaurants, fabulous cooking schools, healthy eating, and of course, excellent ways to drink wine. We have an incredible show next week. We're going to be talking about cheese with the guys from Firefly and
Amazing cheese.
amazing cheese. And Sloop Betty Vaca is going to be in studio. We're going to be getting loopy with Sloop Betty.
Loopy with Sloopy.
Excellent. This is Nikki Nellis with Foodie The Beast. You have a delicious week.